We have a lot to cover, so let's just jump right into it. Marvel's Wolverine new gameplay. Insomniac Games finally gave us a closer look at Marvel's Wolverine, following the iconic anti-hero on a mission to save some captured mutants from the Reavers. From delivering death from above and brutally murdering his enemies, the developer is pulling absolutely no punches when it comes to gore, especially when Logan takes damage. There's a fair bit of what looks to be parrying and some stylish executions, along with some much welcome berserker rage. Even Jean Grey joins the fray, using her telepathic powers to assist. Visually, the title looks absolutely incredible, with detailed fabric, real-time reflections, and more. It's not long before the Reavers leave with the mutants, leading to some pitched battles on moving vehicles and a powerful brute going blow to blow with Logan. This also provides a nice look at his ability to focus and quickly regenerate wounds from a fatal blow. Now, much like its take on Spider-Man, Insomniac's Wolverine is an original story which takes inspiration from the comics. It follows James Logan Howlett on a quest to regain his memories, potentially explaining the claws that pop out when some slicing and dicing is needed. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls new trailer. Arc System Works continues to reveal some high-profile fighters for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, and this time, the villains take center stage. Led by Dr. Doom, the Knights of Doom include the likes of Magneto and the Green Goblin. As a longtime nemesis and sometimes ally of the X-Men, Magneto utilizes magnetism to deal some significant damage from afar and up close. Launching on August 6th, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls will be available for PS5 and PC. Previous trailers have confirmed groups such as the Unbreakable X-Men with Wolverine, Storm, Danger, and Magic, and the Fighting Avengers with Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, and Black Panther. Beyond the online play, there's also a story and episode mode, where heroes and villains alike must participate in a tournament against the mysterious champion with the world at stake. Rayman Legends Retold. After many months of rumors and leaks, Rayman Legends Retold has been announced with a trailer during the June 2026 edition of State of Play. Starting things off with a small cinematic, the trailer then gives us a look at its brand new take on the classic art style and gameplay. Rayman Legends Retold will make use of a fully 3D art style, as opposed to the original Rayman Legends hybrid that takes the melded 2D and 3D art for various situations. Much like the original, however, the remake will also offer a large amount of gameplay variety that constantly changes things up. Rayman Legends Retold is a remake of the side-scrolling platformer Rayman Legends, which was originally released in 2013 on PC, PS3, and Xbox 360. A direct sequel to Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends tells the story of the nightmares having grown in numbers and strength thanks to the heroes deciding to take an incredibly long break. This means that the enemies have now taken on the form of the monsters from Legend, and it's up to the freshly awakened Rayman and his buddies to save the Glade of Dreams. Rayman Legends Retold is slated for release on October 1st. A new look at Kimori. Developer Unseen has given us a new look at its co-op action game Kimori. The trailer largely focuses on giving us a look at its gameplay, while also providing a breakdown of the player's role as a yokai hunter that has to hunt the unseen. Much of the gameplay showcased for Kimori focuses on traversal, with many characters seemingly having different ways to move around its open world. This can range from running vertically up buildings to gliding down skyscrapers on hoverboards, and in some cases, even flying. We also get a good look at its hack-and-slash gameplay that will give players plenty of options when it comes to making use of strange weapons and even stranger special abilities. Developed by a new studio founded after Ghostwire Tokyo director Ikumi Nakamura left Tango Gameworks, Kimori was announced all the way back in 2023 as Indie Team's first major project. The title takes many cues from Nakamura's previous works, especially in how it focuses on hunting down various yokai from Japanese folklore and myths. Kimori is aiming for a 2027 launch. The Lost Wild new footage. You might be forgiven if you've forgotten about Annapurna and Great Apes The Lost Wild after its announcement nearly 4 years ago. You'd also be forgiven for thinking this was a very intense take on Jurassic Park. It's a nay on the latter, but the good news is that the game's now making its way to the PS5, with a new trailer showcased at the recent State of Play. And what a trailer it is! It begins as any encounter with dinosaurs left to run free in their natural habitat would, with one attacking potential protagonist, crashing into their car as they take a leisurely ride through a beautifully rendered forest. Well, what follows is a showcase of a gameplay loop in which you're the prey and need to keep your wits about you as you navigate the world. This is a game about patience, restraint, and carefully considered actions, all of which you're going to need if you don't want to end up on a dinosaur's next meal. The developers are touting this one as a subversion of modern gaming's tried and tested power fantasy, and we're more than inclined to agree. You'd probably feel the same way after you watch this new trailer. Stuntman Hollywood announced. Among the more interesting additions to the latest State of Play is Stuntman Hollywood, an arcade racer with an interesting twist. You're going to be driving a variety of vehicles through meticulously designed set pieces that might look familiar to you if you're a movie buff. That's because the entire game takes place on the sets of numerous popular films from the real world. It's a very welcome crossover between games and some of our favorite action movies, with one scene from Death Race shining through quite prominently in this announcement trailer. The gameplay loop is designed to be easy to catch on to, but harder to nail down at higher levels. You drive as well as you can to earn stars, performing stunts based on what your director says, while going off the script when you can get more stars. There are challenges that reward even more of them, although they're going to be increasingly difficult as you keep going. Each film you're performing for is an episode, coming with its own twists on the gameplay loop to keep things as interesting as they can be. Earning more stars gets you bragging rights in the form of trophies that you proudly display in your garage, while the films you manage to do your best work on get recognized for taking things up a notch. And that's all in a day's work for a good stuntman in Hollywood. We cannot wait to get in front of the camera for this one, but there isn't a release date for it, at least at the moment. Anamusha Way of the Sword release date revealed. Following rumors of the same, Anamusha Way of the Sword is confirmed to launch on September 25th for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC. A new trailer sees Musashi venturing to a castle in the mountains where a particularly brutal Genma awaits. As it turns out, it's the legendary Sutendoji, who fights with about as much ferocity as he parties. It's all our hero can do to fight back, but it's not long before he seemingly calls. But on the brink of death, he transforms into none other than the legendary Anamusha, ready to fight. Thankfully, we won't have long to wait to try it ourselves as a demo goes live later today. Releasing a whopping 20 years after the last mainline Anamusha, Way of the Sword offers few connections to previous titles and instead follows the legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi. Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thief release date. Developer Project Aces and publisher Bandai Namco have released a brand new trailer for Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thief and have confirmed that the title will be coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S on October 2nd. The trailer gives us a deeper look at its intrigue-filled plot as well as some action-packed gameplay. The player takes on the role of the Wings of Thief, often referred to by other characters as being a legendary savior thanks to their raw skill when it comes to piloting fighter jets and taking on impossible missions. However, the trailer hints that there might also be the possibility of an imposter pretending to be the Wings of Thief, with all of the geopolitical and interpersonal drama that will undoubtedly ensue. Control Resonant release date. Remedy Entertainment debuted a new trailer for Control Resonant, its highly anticipated sequel to Control, alongside a release date. It's out on September 24th for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC, with pre-orders now available. There's even a digital deluxe edition which provides 48 hours of early access, a starting resource bundle, an AWE mission outfit, and much more. Now, as for the new trailer, it's somewhat hard to pin down. After some brief flashbacks about his sister and the torment he felt in containment, Dylan Faden is told about a powerful resonance that emanated once the FBC's lockdown ended. Someone admonishes him for not being FBC and apparently not even human. Not that he's going to stop playing hero, but the stakes are high. Silent Hill Townfall, release date announced. In my restless dreams, I still see that Scottish town. Well, all of us will soon enough this year, as Silent Hill Townfall has received a release date. It's out on September 24th for PS5 and PC. Starting with protagonist Simon Ordell wandering through a town, he's eventually contacted by what seems to be a familiar voice. This is apparently Zoe, someone he recognizes, though it's not long before he has to evade terrifying monsters, and judging by the game's ESRB rating, they're hungrier than you think. Why is Simon in this town? Well, apparently to put things right. Regardless of how ominous that sounds, he'll need to unearth clues and discover everything he can about the town just to survive. While the player can engage in melee combat with axes and the like, or gun down enemies with firearms, sneaking past them or creating a distraction with a radio or any nearby items is also a sound strategy, and the pun was intended there. Phantom Blade Zero gets new teaser. Developer S-Game has released a new trailer for its upcoming title Phantom Blade Zero, dubbed a special teaser. The trailer doesn't showcase too much about the hack-and-slash title, giving us quick glimpses at some story moments and its wuxia-inspired gameplay. While we get glimpses of gameplay and some strange enemies that players will have to take on in Phantom Blade Zero, the special teaser is essentially just an announcement that a longer trailer will be released later on in the summer. The studio also plans on kicking off pre-orders for the game at that same time. Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis delayed. As prematurely revealed by Amazon itself earlier today, Crystal Dynamics' Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis will launch on February 10th, 2027 instead of this year. Thankfully, it's shaping up to be something special, with a brand new gameplay trailer highlighting gorgeous locales and more than a bit of traversal. It starts with Lara in the snowy mountains of Peru, facing off against an enemy before falling from a bridge and using a pickaxe to try and hang on. She eventually finds a tomb, dodging past some spear traps with incredible acrobatics before fighting a bear. It quickly transitions to somewhere warmer that's no less dangerous as she moves gears to unlock access to another tomb. And while Lara is skilled in the art of combat, whether it's wielding dual pistols or taking down enemies from behind, she's still no match for dinosaurs. And cue an escape sequence from a massive T-Rex, with a raptor also seen later, and another where she grapples through a collapsing structure. Just all in a day's work for the Croft heiress. No Rest for the Wicked. After nearly 2 years in early access, No Rest for the Wicked is finally ready to make the jump to 1.0. Moon Studios' brutal action RPG launches in full this October on PC and PS5, bringing a massive content expansion with it. Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition release date. Things are finally looking up for Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered after its release was delayed earlier on this year. An overview trailer for the game is proof that the extra time has served the game well, with a level of polish that's looking quite snappy, while new features have made themselves known. The combat's looking pretty sharp, with abilities like the one where you can summon your horse right in the middle of a battle to mow down your enemies, looking like they can change the way you approach this one's compelling 1 versus 1,000 gameplay loop. There are other game modes on offer too, and the Extreme Legends expansion is already on board to give you hours of exhilarating entertainment when you're not bringing your buddies along to fight at your side or take you on in single combat. Even better is the October 1st, 2026 release date, which has us counting down the days until we can grab a weapon and go to town on opposing armies that dare challenge our might on the field of battle. Until Dawn 2 announced. Sony has officially announced Until Dawn 2 for PS5, with a sequel targeting a 2027 launch. This time, the story follows a group of ghost hunters whose staged paranormal content turns into a very real fight for survival. The game introduces a new cast, a new island setting, and the same choice-driven horror structure where relationships and decisions can dramatically alter the outcome. Ill gets a release year. After years of cryptic teasers and fan anticipation, Ill is finally targeting a 2027 release on PS5 and PC. The new trailer sells it as a filthy, nerve-rattling survival horror experience built around grotesque mutations, desperate combat, and a research facility gone horribly wrong. Laufey officially announced. Sony Santa Monica finally unveiled its newest title, and as numerous rumors claimed, it focuses on Kratos' wife, Faye. Titled Laufey, it's coming exclusively to PS5. There's no release date, but with 20 minutes of gameplay, there is a lot to go through, and it starts unexpectedly with Kratos laying her to rest. Faye awakens in an unknown fantasy realm with strange butterflies and a cutesy-looking, clumsy doofus of a creature. She follows it past a fallen tree, trying to overcome the dizziness, and she's aware that Kratos and Atreus will begin their journey. It's not long before she's attacked by a mysterious plant creature, utilizing some magic and a recently discovered sword to cut down his buddies. Unlike Kratos, Faye possesses a lot more mobility, launching enemies and executing some sick mid-air combos while later air dodging. Donning some armor, she glides under an opening to exit the ruins, seeing the massive cube-like structure from before now up close. Venturing next through an overgrown area, Faye is accosted by 2 armored enemies and taken captive before coming face to face with a giant warrior with fiery hair and what appears to be their leader. Something catches the latter's attention though, and she departs with her massive lion-like pet to investigate. Faye happens upon a talking sword, or rather the ribbons, named Rue, and a sentient cube named Frank. Yes, seriously. And it's not long before all 3 escape together, though there's clearly bigger things to worry about. Now armed with the sword, Faye proceeds to lay waste to her enemies, with Frank providing backup. Eventually, she goes up against the same brute from earlier, and after some frankly insane sequences, she takes him down.
And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at Gaming Vault, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.